Danny Gilfillan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and our Kings. Carl Frampton, we're here in Glasgow. So you just got a bit of love from the fans here in Glasgow. Must be nice.
No, it is nice, yeah. It's nice to be, the people still remember you, so yeah, it's nice.
Always remember you, Carl, but they're here. Josh Taylor, Ekow Essuman, just made weight. A lot's been made of the fact this is Josh's first fight up at 147. People have been talking about him making that jump up from super lightweight for a while. How do you think he looked with the extra 7 pounds?
I think he looked great. I think there was a wee bit of conversation between him and Ekow saying he looked tight, but the version of Josh Taylor making light welterweight previous was a different person. Looked dead on the scales for maybe his last 5-6 fights. I think it's been a long time coming, the jump to welterweight, and I hope that we see, because of that and because of the extra weight, we see he said it, Josh Taylor Mark II, and I think there's every chance we will see it.
How much jeopardy does Ekow Essuman bring? I mean, he's sort of cleaned up domestically, had that one loss to Harry Scarf, who's a nightmare for anyone stylistically in and around at that weight. A lot of question marks over what Josh Taylor's left. You touched about him saying we're going to see Josh Taylor 2.0. How much jeopardy is in this fight for Josh?
So much, and none for Ekow as well. There's no pressure on Ekow. He's been crammed for an opportunity like this, and he's got it now to fight Josh Taylor. Ekow's probably not the biggest household name in the world. Unless you're a boxing fan, you'll not really know him, but this gives him an opportunity to put his name up there and get his name in the mix with some big names. All the pressure's on Josh. He has to look good. He has to win. He has to look good as well. And I think because of the extra weight and the 7 pounds that he hasn't had to cut off to make light welterweight, I think Ekow has a style that can make Josh look really good, and we all know he's really good. I hope we see a version of the Josh Taylor that we haven't seen in the last few fights.
From a fighter's perspective, what do you think Josh Taylor's target? And it's been talked about a potential 2-weight world champion. There's the trilogy fight with Jack Catterall, who's also moved up to welterweight. Conor Benn would be a big money fight. At the stage he's in his career, what do you think he's looking at moving forward?
But knowing Josh, he wants to. He's had an incredible career. If he retires tomorrow, he's been an undisputed light welterweight champion. He's done it. It's a marquee division. He's done it again. He beat so many killers as well on the way up to do it. Unbelievable, but I think he'll be unhappy if he doesn't become a world champion in the welterweight division as well. Now there's a Boots Ennis, I'll have his own thing to say about that. Incredible fighter. I have a feeling there's a chance that he's going to move up at some point. But Josh Taylor, no doubt, will be disappointed if he doesn't win a world title in this division, and there's every chance he could. I'd love to see him do it as well.
Moses Itauma making his Scottish debut up against Mike Balogun. Now Moses won't be overlooking Mike Balogun, but there's been names like Martin Bakole, Filip Hrgovic banded about. Moses said he would jump at the fight with Martin Bakole. He believes he'd knock him out. How far off do you think Moses is off likes of Bakole and Hrgovic, and how do you think he'd fare? I
don't think he's far off any of these guys. Moses is the next heavyweight champion and waiting. I really believe that. And I mean, he's still a grown boy, you can say that. I mean, he still hasn't kind of matured or developed completely as an adult yet, which is a scary thought. The kid's so good, and what he's got really on his side is I haven't seen a heavyweight being able to punch as fast as him, going way back to Mike Tyson. Punches hard, punches fast. A boxing encyclopedia, really studies the game as well. But the Bakole fight's a strange one for me. I was like, why does anybody want to fight Martin Bakole? He gives everybody a hard night if he's fit. But Moses, for me, it's only a matter of time before he's the world champion.
Just want to circle back to the welterweight division, where in June Manny Pacquiao will be returning at 46 years of age to face Mario Barrios. I think it's been 6 years since he had a win. He had an exhibition last year where people weren't particularly impressed with how he looked. What are your thoughts on all that?
It's a joke, really. There's the thought. It's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers. They can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, I don't know. The WBC, I think we have a lot of time for him, Richie O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed allowing a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao straight in for a world title fight.
We'll talk something a bit more positive. Well, hopefully Tyson Fury. It looks like the rumblings are getting louder and louder. He's alluded to a return. Gareth A. Davis says he's convinced this fight between himself and Anthony Joshua will take place this October. Are you starting to get more confident that we're going to see the big man back in the ring, maybe sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's training. He's talked about it. He's dropped a few hints that he's coming back. But the only fight for me is the AJ fight. To be honest, well, I was going to say nothing else interests me, but Tyson Fury coming back obviously interests me. But the fight that I do want to see is AJ, and hopefully that is, if he is coming back, that's the one he's coming back for.
I interviewed Big John over in Budapest, and not to try and bring up any old drama, but he believes that Tyson could have won those Usyk fights if he was slightly fitter. He thinks he wants to be more involved in the training side of things. Do you see that argument in terms of Tyson's fitness in those two fights?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone really questioned his fitness in the fights. I think that he just lost to the better man on the night, but maybe tactically you could have changed a few things, but he looked fit enough to me. But look, John's in the camp and he knows better, really. He knows Tyson a lot more than I do, or anybody else for that matter. So if that's his opinion, then he's entitled to it. But he may have a point, yeah.
Last thing I want to get your thoughts on, Carl, I'll let you shoot off. Dave Allen, massive win over Johnny Fisher in the rematch this past Saturday night. What do you make of that fight, and where do you see the future for both men?
I think Dave Allen, the old man, Johnny Fisher, he just methodically broke him down and took him out when he got the chance. Really spectacular knockout, and what I like about, everyone likes Dave Allen, the things that he said, and just his character, just a nice guy. No bullshit, very, very humble as well. Knows his level too, which a lot of people in this game don't, and they talk about world titles and everything else. Dave Allen's going to be happy to win a British title. Nothing wrong with it. And I hope he can do it, they really do.
What about Johnny Fisher? People talking about a rebuild. Is it difficult when you are such a big commercial draw and promoters want to have you high up on bills, but maybe his in-ring acumen at this stage doesn't match up to that?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? And he will have probably taken a bit of stick about, most people thought that he lost the first fight with Dave Allen, and certainly he was cleaned out in the second fight. So it's going to be difficult for him to deal with that for a time. But a rebuild process. Look, you got to remember, this kid Fisher doesn't have much amateur experience. He's been learning on the game as a pro. It's going to be a difficult rebuild, and where do you go? What sort of direction you take? But like I said, if he doesn't have dreams, silly, strange and deluded dreams and aspirations of becoming a unified world champion, nothing wrong with being a British champion or a European champion, and that's fully achievable.
Carl, I really appreciate the time. I'll let you get on. Enjoy the rest of the weekend in Glasgow. See you in fight.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate your time. Nice one.